Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use Queen Charge LaLo here at Townhall 15 to 3-star any base. So here is the army composition that we are going to be using, and honestly it's actually fairly simple. We of course are going to be coming in with that Queen Charge, nothing difficult with when it comes to her equipment. We have the healer puppet and the invisibility vial. Would I recommend the invisibility vial? Probably not, but it is one of the basic pieces of equipment, so for ease of use and for accessibility, that's what we're going to be going with today. For the actual army itself, you guys can see very simple when it comes to the Queen Charge portion. There is a few extra troops in there, but we'll talk about that when we break down this strategy. So jumping into that first attack, there's a few things we're going to want to make sure we do when we are coming in with our Queen Charge. The first of which being identifying where the clan castle is. We definitely want to make sure we have dealt or are planning on dealing with, as the Queen charges in, the clan castle troops. They can be notoriously difficult to LaLo attacks if you don't take them down early. Things like dragons, electro dragons, super minions. Honestly, most troops would absolutely tear through balloons if not dealt with. So it's definitely my recommendation when you're coming in with your Queen Charge, you make sure you have a plan to deal with those clan castle troops. Now, if you're not directly going for them with your Queen Charge, you can always try and lure them out with a balloon, with a hog, or with something like that. But for us here, we are hopefully planning on pushing that queen in towards the town hall section of the base. We have that flame flinger, which we haven't really mentioned yet. It's going to be doing some work for us over on this right hand side. So basically, when you begin your Queen Charge, you're going to start the flame flinger on the same kind of corner or rough section of the base, just slightly further over, so it helps to direct your queen in the way that you want her to go for. So for us here, we wanted her to walk down and then into the base towards this multi-target inferno, exactly as she has done so far. We're then going to be coming in with a bit of a further funnel, of course with that baby dragon, which we can see appearing in that bottom section, and the barbarian king. Now what I would say is be very careful of seeking air mines. Those black bombs can be lethal for your healers, so don't be scared to use 1 or 2 balloons just to help get through some of those seeking air mines early on in the attack. We have the Royal Champion going to be making an appearance down here from that bottom left hand side of the base. Again, she's going to come in much earlier than we would typically tend to see in these style of attacks, and it really depends on what you're bringing her in to get. So for us here, we have the Eagle Artillery, and we also have that Minion Prince. The Minion Prince can be really lethal when coming in against LaLo attacks. It can take down those balloons very quickly, so if you can take it down with your Queen Charge or with your Royal Champion like we saw here, always going to be nice and beneficial. But we do of course have that jump spell, which is going to allow our queen to get in towards that town hall. In these centralized town hall bases, which we are seeing right here, it's always going to be an idea to try and take down a good chunk of the base with your queen, the flame flinger, and then your king and Royal Champion. This should hopefully leave a nice clear path for your LaLo part of the attack to go in. Now remember, when it comes to spell support here, we're not really bringing too many spells to help support our troops. It primarily is going to be used for the Queen Charge part of the attack. We don't really have any hastes or rage saved up for the LaLo part. It's just going to be coming in on its own, hoping that the Lava Hound is going to stay alive long enough, or there is enough balloons to overwhelm the last few defenses, which is what ends up happening here. But the main thing you're going to want to do is try and keep that queen alive throughout the entirety of the attack. She is the powerhouse of this one. As it says in the title, this is a Queen Charge LaLo attack, so it really does depend very much on the value you get from that queen. So moving through into this second attack, we have a pretty difficult base honestly to come in with a Queen Charge LaLo, because that clan castle is pretty centralized. We also have a lot of these key defenses, the multi-target infernos, the scatter shots, even the wizard towers, which can cause issues for the LaLo part of the attack. They're fairly spread out, so it means when we're coming in with our Queen Charge, we have to try and identify which key defenses we're trying to take down. Of course, scatter shots can be one of the most lethal, so for us here, that's probably going to be a top priority to try and take down at least one, if not two of those. Of course, Clan Castle, don't forget about them. We certainly have not. Queen is going to be going straight in there and trying to lure them out and deal with it. We get super unfortunate with that super wall breaker there. It does catch a spring trap, but the second one manages to open up that wall compartment, luring out a couple of those Clan Castle troops at a time. We do need to be careful, so we're going to rage up that queen to help her get through the enemy queen, and we can continue on with this attack. Here comes those pesky Clan Castle troops. Ice golems, always annoying to deal with just because it freezes up your queen and means she has so long to deal with those Clan Castle troops before moving on to the rest of the base. But we don't need to hang about because we're getting started with the next part of that attack. We have the scatter shot down towards that bottom section of the base, and I actually completely missed that flame flinger up towards the top section, so slightly different in this one to what we saw in the last one. We saw the flame flinger coming in to support the queen, but for us here it was obviously easy enough to help push that queen into the core, so we end up bringing the flame flinger in from a slightly different angle. Now remember, the flame flinger is probably one of the strongest siege machines you can bring, but ground expos and mortars are going to be able to outrange them, so be very careful when you're deploying down that flame flinger. There isn't a ground expo or a mortar that could potentially be in range. As long as you stay away from them, you should be pretty comfortable. Now we can start to think about our LaLo part of the attack, because we've dealt with so much of the base already. There is hardly any defenses left up to deal with here. Our queen charge has done absolutely fantastically and can now push M towards that town hall. Be careful of the town hall itself if you have not taken it down and your LaLo is approaching. It can absolutely tear through your balloons, as you can see right here, exceptionally quickly. So we're going to use that Grand Warden ability that hopefully is going to help us get through that town hall, freezing it up just to be safe. But this one, of course, absolutely overkill. Gonna finish up with a beautiful 3-star right there. So we do have one more example of this attack in action, definitely one of my favorite strategies to use. Let's jump in and we'll take a look. And for that third one, this is a far more trophy style base, something you would tend to see when you are trophy pushing. You sometimes do tend to see these in clan wars, but it's sometimes more anti 3-star bases that might appear. So this one definitely worth practicing against and approaching it the exact same way as we did with that first attack, where the flame flinger is going to be coming in directly next to that archer queen to help support her. Now when it comes to the equipment on the queen, of course we do actually have the healer puppet alongside the invisibility vial, which for me seems a bit counterproductive when we have the healers on the queen already. So for me, I would probably, for a queen charge, the frozen arrow is always going to be nice, but the magic mirror, the giant with the action figure, those two are probably going to take the cake. They're very, very strong. For the king himself, I would definitely be bringing the earthquake boots. The giant gauntlet does also work really, really nicely against compact bases, but bases that are a bit more spread out, like we have right here, can be a real issue if you're bringing that giant gauntlet, because he's going to be attacking, but he's not really going to be getting too much value because he's just hitting individual buildings. Poison spell going to be coming down, helping us again get through those clan castle troops. In this particular one, our flame flinger is actually going to deal with that clan castle itself, which is absolutely spot on. Able to take it down without the queen, that is always going to be a win for us. Now we of course have to be super careful here because we have one of the heaviest hitting defenses locked on currently to our queen. That of course is the monolith, so we're going to have to use one of our free spells down on it just to allow that rage spell to take effect on our healers and get that queen back up to full HP. Let her do her thing though, push all the way through into the core of the base, have to pop her ability there. Unfortunately it did get forced, but we want to try and keep her alive. We want to protect her because she for us is the most important thing in this attack. Moving on now to the LaLo part of this video, you guys can see Lava Hound of course is going to go out in front. Now try not to clump up your balloons too much. Typically you're going to deploy them down in groups of 4 or 5. This is so they can one-shot these defenses. You want your Lava Hound to be getting as much value as possible, so try to make sure it has a clear path to go from defense to defense. Of course it's always going to target air defenses before any other defense. But for us here we have a beautiful LaLo, nice spread out balloons taking down defenses nice and quickly. We're out of spells now, so it is going to be up to the remaining troops. The Dragon Rider here, I believe, did come out of our Flame Flinger. That's always going to benefit through on the back end of the attack, just adds that little bit more firepower, and of course very, very strong against air defenses, wizard towers, anything that's not monoliths or single target infernos. But there is a beautiful attack to finish off this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you want to see more Townhall 15 content, make sure to check out my Townhall 15 playlist and subscribe to the channel while you are at it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.